Let's go to TNA.
Oh, do we have to?
Yeah, I mean, she has a.
Sadly, yes, we are.
Okay.
You know, we gotta be fair.
God help us.
God help us all. If you didn't hear the news, in lockdown, it's not gonna be. They're making changes again, and the changes are that not every match in lockdown, because for that pay-per-view, every match was in a cage. But for this lockdown, not every match is going to be in a cage.
That's going to be like headache. There's going to be a lot of raising and lowering of a damn cage.
Nah, I think TNA's the way they do it is they just put it up. They don't raise it like WWE does. But I think they said it's going to be like only 2 or maybe just 1 cage match this year.
So they're going to do like the Elimination Chamber where they had this one chamber match.
Pretty much. But I mean, I kind of like the lockdown perspective that TNA had did for the few years. The only time that it kind of got stupid was, I think, either the year before or the year before that, where they just put stuff together. I think it was the match between ODB and Eric Young versus Sarita and Rosita, where they just had put it together and they had the Knockouts title match. And that's when Eric Young and ODB won the Knockouts title. And to me, the match didn't really deserve to be in the cage.
Yeah, they just throw stuff in there.
In there. If it has the storyline is there, it makes sense and the cage works. It's when you just throw it in there and there's no storyline to it.
Yeah.
Then it
and
doesn't
the cage
work.
is like not the cage isn't always the main character of the match, but still it's like it's there. You know, you gotta know it's there.
But I think like another thing that made TNA different from WWE is gone now. I mean, first was the 6-sided ring, and
I actually really enjoyed the 6-sided ring.
I loved it. I embraced it. I embraced it.
But what do you guys think about that now they're cutting down on the cage matches at Lockdown?
That's ridiculous. I mean, you're known to be an X Division company. You're originally known to be an X Division company. And the whole Lockdown, persona amplifies the X Division, really. Because you have that whole hardcore-ness to it when you say Lockdown. If you eliminate all Lockdown matches to only keep it down to 1 or 2, you're basically taking away the essence of what Lockdown really is.
I look at it this way. TNA, this goes to a range of factors, but TNA, as I spoke of on many shows, is they have to be hurting for money. I think that the fact that they are going on the road is another thing where they're trying to compete. And I feel like the workload, I think they're looking at Lockdown, they're like, okay, can we really risk any injuries this year? Can we really...
The thing is with the injuries, they have a lot of wrestlers that they don't use.
Oh yeah, just like WWE. I mean, they don't think about that though.
But the thing is, I would, if they are more concerned with injuries and stuff like that, then build up some of your newer guys. Yeah, your older guys are gonna get injured. That's why you have new guys on your roster.
Oh, this goes back to the show where I was talking about. Dixie needs to take Paul Heyman's advice and clean out that roster. You have to get your younger guys out there so that you can make money.
Yeah.
You can't sit there on old shadows of NWA and WCW. You can't live off of that. And WWE, you can't live off that. The product that TNA was back during the Wednesday pay-per-view era, and when they finally did start on Spike, the product that it was the key to an endless universe of great matches and shows and products.
I mean, I would suggest, even if you want to keep some of your older guys, but the thing is, don't have, 2 vets go at it. Have a vet and a young dude go at it so you can build up your younger roster. You can build up, their spotlight. You can build up their repertoire of wrestling. They'll have more, learning experience if you pair them with a vet.
They do need to invest in the new generation more. They need. I think the business as a whole needs to invest in another generation of wrestlers, which is another show where I was discussing the why I think that Punk should have never lost the belt is because you do need that. You do need that new legend. You need that new legacy. You need that new spark that of the impossible. Somebody holding the title for that long. A guy like CM Punk holding the title while they throw wave after wave of veterans and new guys at him. You need that guy. You need another invincible legend. You need another unstoppable champion. You need it. That's how you build a new era. That's how you build a whole new legacy. Because when that guy goes down, the guy who takes that guy down, that guy continues on the legend. That's another guy on the roster. That's two big guys, two big legends. That's another Stone Cold Rock. That's another big Macho Man, Michaels. That's another big,
another big, legend that you have. Like TNA doesn't really have a big legend except for the old guys. The thing is, they don't.
The business needs another Steamboat. They need another Arn Anderson. They need another Ole. They need another. They really need another Stan Hansen. They need another. They need another monument. Legend. Yeah, they need another. They need more. They need like 8 new legends in each company. They need a whole set. I mean, they just need a whole new cast. They need to change out the cast completely, which is why I've been preaching on the show several times over as to why they need to get rid of John Cena's show. They need to clean out a lot of these guys. They need to clean out TNA. They need to just clean it out.
Well, speaking of cleaning out, let's get down to the main event, which is Lethal Lockdown, and it's going to be Team TNA against Aces and Eights. Oh. And I think we already know who's going to be on Aces and Eights. But Team TNA is
ridiculous.
Well, Karen just said it. Because apparently it's going to be Sting, Joe, Magnus, which...
ridiculous.
Here's
my thing. Why are they putting Magnus in this whole, Team TNA? He really wasn't the whole main focus of the Aces and Eights hit.
Yeah.
See, that makes no sense.
Of course. And James Storm, which is understandable. But number 5th one, Eric Young.
See, that also makes no sense, too, because he wasn't really, he was kind of the focus of their attack, but it was a blitz attack, and that was it.
They were just to write him off so he can go do his show for
Fishing show.
Animal Planet.
Which is a very funny show, by the way.
God.
Let me just emphasize on I do not hate Eric Young. What I hate about Eric Young is his stupid gimmick. His whole trying to be funny. I mean... You can have guys that are funny, but, to me, Eric Young goes way overboard and he tries too hard. I like the way he did the whole World Elite. That was awesome.
That worked for me.
He had a good match with Hamada until they botched up the ending, which was stupid, but it was a good match.
Sad
But
loss.
then they reverted him back to the whole comic gimmick.
The childlike comic gimmick, yeah.
And it just killed me.
Stupid.
I got nothing against Eric Young, the wrestler, but the whole comic relief character thing is just...
I mean, you can be a comic relief, but not the extent of what Eric Young pushes it.
Eric Young is a decent performer, but yeah, right now he's being given like crap direction in my opinion.
And if I was TNA, I wouldn't put him in this team because you're trying to sell seriousness and
what I would have done was going back to the whole new the whole young roster. I would actually have Sting go recruit a young dude. It's like, you know what, we need a fresh guy. We need somebody who could actually stand within the ring for long periods of time. The endurance should be there, and go to the younger rosters and go have little promos, little vignettes like him scouting out some of the young dudes out and stuff like that, and then him talking with somebody like, hey, do you want to join us in this adventure? Or 1 or 2 would have been good, because Magnus, I really don't understand why he's in this group, because he wasn't the focus of Aces and Eights at all.
I guess he's gonna get a push with the Blueprint Matt Morgan guy. I think he's going to get a push like that, which, man, this is all right. It's just that I don't see him being any main event material this time around.
Not this time around. But that's why, you know, the whole older vet should have went to the younger guys and say, hey, we need help. Aces and Aces are kicking our asses. Would you be willing to step up and prove your worth to this company?
That's what I'm saying. They do each company, but TNA especially needs to have a cast transition of some kind.
Like, what's the point of having?
Dixie needs to buy out some contracts, and they need to go ahead and start transitioning, having some of the older guys bring in these guys and give them credibility. But then once that's done, step back. Don't stay in the picture. Just step back and let us accept them.
Yeah.
Let us build. Let them build themselves to us. They have to build themselves to the audience.
So what's up with it? You know, why is the point of having gut check if you're not going to use these wrestlers that you vote in?
That's what I'm saying. I just don't get it. Like, it's just there as a garnish that's supposed to give people hope. You know, are supposed to give these guys hope. And I have friends who've been in gut check.
Yeah,
I have 3 friends who've been in gut check, and
the same 3 friends that we have. Like,
yeah, it's sad. It's sad to see that, you know, even if they made it, you know, they wouldn't necessarily go over long.
I mean,
it's just like false hope.
It is false hope. I mean, I have, like, you know, one guy who works for, you know, who's in TNA, and he's like, dude, your guy was awesome. I don't know why they didn't pick him. And I'm like sitting there thinking, I'm glad they didn't pick him because it's false hope.
It's false hope, you know. It's sad, you know, and I mean, it may, and it's good. I guess if you do make it on the air, it's good business in the indie circuit because then you can demand more money from promoters to make appearances, which is a plus. But still, I mean, it's still not what you start to wonder if you're trying to break into the business and make main event television. You start to wonder, what do I have to do to become one of that roster?
Yeah.
What do I have to do to become an employee?
Yeah.
What do I need to become an employee? Even if you're already larger than life, it's still like, what do I got to do to get one of the spots? And even if you do make the company, how do I get out of developmental?
Yeah.
How do I make TV?
I mean, not very many people get out of developmental.
No.
Not very many. I was surprised that Bo Dallas got out of developmental.
He did, and then all of a sudden
he went back.
They shoveled the dirt back on him. I mean, it's amazing. It's just,
like, whoa,
it's astounding to me. Like,
but you know, like I said before, and I'm gonna keep saying it until they do something to make this storyline good. The Aces and Aids thing is pretty much reaches breaking point.
They should squash that.
They really need to squash it. I mean, you got Devon this week talking about, we're the best, we're dominant. I'm like, wasn't like 2 impacts ago y'all were getting beat by Bully Ray and Hogan and them? Then all of a sudden you only got like 1 upper hand on them, and that was like the end of the England run.
I mean, what both shows really, really need to go back to is wrestling basics. They need to have like factions again. They need to have stables again.
I mean, look at what WWE is doing with the Shield. The Shield.
I actually really like the Shield.
The Shield. I mean, these guys. I mean, well, they were known. They were ROH guys. Well, except for the Rock's cousin,
Roman Reigns.
Roman Reigns.
But the other 2 were well-known ROH wrestlers. Mm-hmm. But you know, they weren't like widely known.
Yeah.
But you know, they're not. I mean, they're getting over. As in Aces and Eights, you know, no disrespect to Devon, but it's comical that, you know, people were like, well, we're going to put Devon in here and it's going to be a great group. And let's throw in Mike Knox.
Look at who you're talking about. You're talking about TNA trying to do story. We've talked about this from the very beginning.
Again, read books.
We're talking about TNA trying to do story. Like, you can't compare it to WWE. One thing WWE does do is they can do a story.
Yeah,
they can tell a story.
But what I'm saying is WWE, who's been having trouble trying to raise new talent, they actually is using good talent, which you got to give props to Triple H for.
I do give props.
I mean, I'm just saying.
Yeah.
You know, you got to give them props for, you know, using new guys.
They do it, but they don't embrace it.
Yeah.
They should embrace it, but they don't.
But I mean, you look at how WWE is having more success with the Shield and how TNA is flying with aces and eights. It's like I'm trying to figure out which wrestler was talking about it and saying like they need like a star power that actually means something, ace and eight, in order for it to work. Because let's face it, Mike Knox and Doc and
Devon
and
Eric, Jarrett.
Gary Bischoff does not count.
Yeah, whatever his name is.
Fuck him.
Whatever that little boy's name is.
Briscoe. They're not enough star power to, garner, excitement for the group.
Yeah.
And I'm think y'all can agree with me. I'm pretty much sick of Taz already. I'm sick of the heel Taz. He really needs to shut up because it's getting annoying him every week that him and Mike did are going back and forth arguing.
I mean, there's a way to be a heel commentator, and then there's a way not to be a heel commentator.
Yeah, you guys make good points. I couldn't. You guys made all the points.
It's just they really need to do something right now, or just end this storyline.
Of course, if they end it, it'd be all revealed that it was probably Eric Bischoff that was behind.
No, the way it's going, and I'm calling it now on this show. It seems like it's gonna be Bully Ray. He's gonna do a quick swerve, like, "Oh, Hogan, I tricked you. I married your daughter, and now I'm the leader of the Aces and Eights, and I got the title and all that."
Yeah,
he's just gonna go.
That's one person they need to get out of that company worse than anything else in this entire universe. Having Hulk Hogan in your front office is one of the worst anchors you can have.
I said it before, and I say it again. Hogan. If it wasn't Hulk Hogan, he would have been gone like 2-3 years since they brought him in, because they haven't reached the ratings that I think Dixie wanted to reach.
I mean, if they really want somebody at the front end, they need somebody that is not a wrestler but a business-minded professional.
We're not talking about Bischoff.
We're not talking about Bischoff. No. I'm talking about somebody who has a mind almost like Bischoff, has tenacity of Paul Heyman, and yet somebody who's young, who's ambitious and young.
They need what they need to do. Here's what TNA's structure should be, and this is what they used to have, but then they kind of like went the way of sports entertainment. They had somebody, and they had Jarrett in the front office for all his failures. At the time when they were actually growing, Jarrett was better where he was. As much as I agree he should not have been on the air, which is probably one of the things that started it down spiral when they kept him on the air when they kept them in the loop when they got on Spike. Here's one of the things though. Jarrett was in the front office. You had wrestlers like Jerry Lynn and veterans wrestlers who were doing the booking and part of doing the producing on those segments. That back then they were wrestlers because it showed in the product, like it showed in the matches, the match designs, the pacing. You could tell it was a wrestling show. It was more like an indie show when you watched TNA on the air back in the day. The actual in-ring performance was controlled by the wrestlers. They didn't do a lot of storyline. They stayed away from that because they didn't have a writing staff. They didn't have a professional writing staff with soap opera writers, so they didn't have that. Now they're kind of transitioning that, but they didn't have that. They weren't focused on story. They wanted to make sure that there was total, non-stop action wrestling. That's what they embraced it. That was their product. That's what they sold us. The X Division, even the World Championship matches they weren't the best, but man, the tenacity in those matches. That's what got it past that. The World Championship matches back then weren't technically brilliant, but man, the rawness of them, man, those matches used to be like grit and grind. I mean, last show we talked about Monty Brown. Well, if you watch those matches between R-Truth and Monty Brown and like freaking Jeff Jarrett and all those guys, the matches had a certain
Je ne sais quoi.
Yeah, had a certain emotion, a spirit to them. That now it's just bouncing rubber around in the ring. And
it's like watching a carbon copy of another match of another match of another match of another match. And like, really?
Hold up, prissy HD high definition cameras and the new set designs and the four corner ring.
Then you
and
can go back to that 6-corner ring.
Yeah, all this new.
Ain't no way, bro.
This new trendy. Yeah, there you go. That's the problem.
That is the problem.
That's a huge problem. You got somebody who's from the old days, but see, this is the thing about Hulk Hogan. You need a guy like Hulk Hogan, but you don't need Hulk Hogan. Hulk Hogan wasn't a worker.
Mm-hmm.
Hulk Hogan, no, you never needed Hulk Hogan. Hulk Hogan, his whole career was never a worker. Hulk Hogan was an ideal. He was an image.
Yeah.
And for all he was worth, he was great at it. But he's not the guy that you put there to be the veteran. He's not the old guy in the back who really has all the power in the back. That's not the guy you want there.
Yeah.
You want an asshole like Ole Anderson back there. You want Bill Watts back there. You want Bill Watts back there. You want somebody who's gonna Terry Funk. You want the old guy back there who knows how wrestling, who's gonna keep everybody from getting lazy back there.
Yeah.
That's his job. Like Fit Finley to the Divas, that's his job. Your job is to stay on their asses. That's your job. That's who they need. They don't need Hulk Hogan.
Yeah, they don't.
Hulk Hogan had his own locker room when everybody else shared one. Hulk Hogan made more money than any wrestler in history. Hulk Hogan was a wannabe movie star who had several flops, but is still considered a high class celebrity. Hulk Hogan.
I'd never understood.
Hulk Hogan was in one of the worst movies of all time. And what made it even hurt so bad is it was a Three Ninjas movie, and it broke my freaking heart. And then Hulk Hogan was, even when he was in NWO and made this turn, Hulk Hogan was not the reason why it was successful. Hulk Hogan, they had to carry his ass through that angle. If anybody watched the DVD, I watched the DVD. It was true. The promos, the black and white promos. It was Nash and Hall who wanted the move to make those changes and make everything new age and stuff. It wasn't Hogan. Hogan treated it like they were still in freaking Florida. I mean, Hogan was treating it like it was like they were still in the territories and they weren't going to make any of those new age changes. They weren't going to use any new stuff. No, they pushed that from behind Hogan. They made Hogan think it was going to go that way. Well, that's not the guy that you put in charge.
Well,
you need to put somebody.
He's a prima donna.
And from.
By the way, I still love you, Hulk Hogan, but you're not you're not the guy.
I mean, 180. You went from he's an asshole, but I love him still.
I mean, yeah, he kind of is an asshole.
He was a part of my childhood, but at the same time, he's not that guy.
What I heard, some people saying some rumors about the guy was pretty much an asshole to CM Punk. I mean, the guy. CM Punk was, doing the new guy thing, showing the veteran respect and saying hi. Hogan, while by him, being the asshole, didn't say anything to him. And, I think it got under CM Punk's skin. And then when CM Punk met Austin, he put out his hand. Austin was like, fuck a handshake, give me a hug, man. And then,
you see the stark differences between veteran wrestlers because some of them are just straight assholes, and some of them are like, you know what? Come here, man. We're brothers. We're like, we are comrades in the ring.
It just comes where they broke into the business,
Yeah.
And, people talk, shit about Hogan. I mean, you can't go on any shoots and hear like people from, like Hunky Tonk Man.
Everybody talks about.
Everybody talks a lot, and I admit, some of them probably are sour grapes, but some of them had to be true because there are a lot of people that say those things.
Yeah,
and some of them are true.
I mean, I can say as a backyard wrestler, I am a backyard wrestler, but kids don't do this at home. I've been trained by a California kid. But still, don't do this. Don't try to emulate what you see on TV because you don't know what you're doing. You're gonna get hurt. I've met some indie wrestlers, and some of them, are really, really nice, and some just don't want anything to do with you.
Yeah, that's part of the others.
Yeah,
it's actually very true, and it's just it goes to.
It goes like what Callie said. It goes to where you were broken in.
Yeah, it goes to where you came in. Like you came in. Let's go. I mean, shoot, you could talk about. You want to talk about backyard wrestling just for a quick second? I mean, I mean, when you look at the staunch differences in over the time in the show, if anybody ever caught intensity during the day, you had eras of intensity. I mean, you had one where everybody was friends. You had another where everybody broke off into their own cliques and whatnot, and were run by different people and trained by different people, and then we all met for the show. So there were shoots in the ring, obviously, and then you had the Lennon era, where some people said he was like Bill Watts, and and then you had the Kurt Killings era, which that was a friendly era, but then at the same time it broke off and Kurt vanished and disappeared on everybody, but then later came back. And then you have the BACW era, where everybody just kind of works together as a team and tries to get the show done. And it's been pretty successful as of late because nobody's managing. There's no management. This is the first time in the show's history. This is the first time in the GWC's history that there hasn't been a management. And that's probably the best thing that's ever happened because there's no money involved. But see, what we're talking about, when we're talking about TNA, we're talking about something where there's money involved. We're talking about a lot of great, friendly people. TNA has what a lot of people in their roster who are considered to be very friendly and very fan friendly, very, very good people. But when you have a lot of good people, including Dixie Carter, it's a business. Yeah. And you got leeches in your business, and they're gonna suck you dry.
Oh yeah.
And that's the thing. There are guys in there that she's bringing in there that she thinks is gonna make the company money, but at the same time, I don't think it's obvious that she probably either she's too kind to stand up against it, or she's being talked to by the wrong people and tell her we have to do this. Whatever it is,
she needs to open up her eyes and see what's going on around her, because if this continues, I don't see TNA lasting another 5 years.
Yeah, but there's two more topics I want to touch on about TNA, and that's the Kenny King winning the X belt. Sorry, Darren. And Velvet Sky winning the Knockouts belt.
Why did Velvet Sky win the Knockouts belt?
Politics, I think. Allegedly. Maybe.
I'm going to go ahead and side with you on that one. I think that was pure politics, but go ahead.
Okay, you know what? Maybe she was...
well, that's politics. That's part of the politics. That's part of the political process.
So which one we want to dig into first? Kenny King or Velvet Sky?
Okay, remember... I don't really much care about King. I really don't. I understand, what they're going for, having a new guy come in and win. But the thing is, you having him go against RVD. He needs to prove his chops, man. He needs to prove it. From what I've seen with most of their matches, he's not there yet.
It goes back to what we were talking about at the top of the show. They don't build people anymore.
Yeah.
They don't build people. They shove. We're back to shoving again.
I mean, they really didn't shove. TNA really didn't shove. King down our throat. They just kind of. Here you go.
They kind of eased along when they should have just let him climb himself.
The one thing I don't get is why did they wait till now to give him the belt? Why they couldn't do it overseas where it meant something, or wait till the pay-per-view to do it?
Yeah.
I mean, TNA has a bad knack of doing stuff like that.
They have bad timing.
They do. They have the worst timing. They have the absolute worst timing.
I mean, then they wonder why people don't want to buy the pay-per-views or want to watch or have trouble getting people to watch Impact because, if you don't promote and you wait till the wrong time to put the belt on somebody, it's not going to feel as special as it would have been on the pay-per-view.
Yeah, like most of their titles don't feel as special as they used to.
Right quick. The simple fact that the business has gotten away from that, I think, is obvious to everyone that has a brain, is that I think they've forgotten the simple fact that pay-per-view, the principle of a pay-per-view is to put out something that's so good that people would pay extra to see it.
Yeah.
When WWE has long since gotten past that, they don't do that anymore. They do it. They may do it at Mania, but they only give you maybe two. They only give you about two that are worth the money that you paid.
Mm-hmm.
The rest of it's all just shoveled on there, and marketed to children who can't tell the difference. But when you're for wrestling fans and like fans of the product, who even sports entertainment fans who've been with it for a while, I mean they're getting crap. They know it's crap. TNA is the worst at this. I mean, man, they've done some terrible pay-per-views.
Oh yeah, they have.
I mean, you have a pay-per-view where Jeff Hardy shows up. There you go.
Okay, let's go back to what this little topic of King. Yeah, they should either done it in overseas because it would have like a little bit more meaning overseas, or waited till this pay-per-view to do it. They should, or I actually would have kept the title on RVD and built up King a little bit more because he is not like a champion in my eyes.
I would have Jerry Lynned him. I would have had him challenge RVD over and over again in these long matches, so that we could build up his credibility
and have it on every single show.
Yeah, just let him cut loose. Let him cut loose for 30 minutes of the show. Just let him do a 30-minute match. Let him cut loose. Let him try to beat RVD over and over again. Let the fans get behind him. Let him get the crap beat out of him. I mean, these matches he gets the shit beat out of him.
Type of matches, like don't have to have like this in-ring match. Have like different.
No, that's what I'm saying. Have ladder matches. He just tries over and over again to beat RVD.
But
bring back Bill Alfonso. Let RVD really beat the shit out of him. And then have the guy who sets up all the offensive moves. That's how you really put somebody over, when you put Bill Alfonso out there, because that's when RVD just starts thrashing people.
Calm down, Daniel. I don't need you to go off on the ring.
I'm just saying, you're talking about building this guy. That's how you do it. That's how you beat the crap out of him.
Yeah, I mean, if they make him if they make King a sympathetic character, like he's an underdog, he's going after RVD over and over and over
again. They get behind him because he tries. They get behind him, and RVD's gonna stand there and talk like it ain't nothing.
If they did it for a year, people's like, is this it? Is he gonna win?
Yeah, they'd be waiting. People be digging their nails into their couches trying to wait to see if this guy's gonna do it.
And then you have Velvet Sky winning a champion. She has been back a month or two.
Yeah, but like I said before, the whole thing with Tara, that whole story thing that they're doing with what's his name, I hate it with a passion.
I think he's really. Seriously, I think he's gay.
We're gonna have to put some more disclaimer on this show because of you. Allegedly, we don't want to get sued. Allegedly.
Okay, I feel that he's allegedly gay. This is what you get when you ask a default stable member to come to your show.
All right.
Oh God.
Of course, you're gonna have Mr. Hardcore.
I can only imagine what's gonna happen when we get Higgins on here. I can only imagine. Oh God.
We're gonna get some lawyers. Maybe we can get Mike Hotslow to be our lawyer.
We're gonna have to give
Higgins a tongue.
We're gonna have to give Higgins his own censor. You're gonna have to hold a censor button when Higgins gets on here, because he will go into a
race. It's YouTube. We don't need a censor button. We're not like WWE. We're not PG.
Or Chris will find a way to make us have to censor.
Like, what did you just say? Okay. But I actually really liked Tara holding the title. For a woman, not to be a little bit ageist, but for a woman her age, she does know how to move in a ring.
She can work. I get it. Yeah.
She can work.
She can work now.
Velvet.
If anything like someone says she's been with the company for so long, she was, I give her credit, she was one of the reasons why they had high ratings along with Angelina Love, but
there's somebody who was stiff and could go.
Honestly, the first title ring wasn't that good. I mean, they tried, but it just fell short. And I just think it's kind of like the same thing they did with Hardy. They just gave her the title to make her happy because, somebody dropped the ball and let her contract expire without, talking to her and,
I would just let her contract expire. I'm sorry. I'm like, no. I mean, the thing is, I look for...
Or would you rather be Brooke Adams again?
Pause.
What was that a pause for? That wasn't anything.
No, that's a different kind of pause. I'm talking about. Just press the pause button.
Okay.
Rewind.
But
I mean, I'd rather have workers in the ring. Her performance to me is not the greatest. I'd rather send her back to developmental to get her more polished. Gail Kim, excellent worker. I love her style. I'd rather have Gail Kim win the title again.
Than have.
That's my opinion of that.
I know it's been done, but it's probably your best opt. I mean, when you have nothing else, go for Gail.
It's like someone keeps saying, the knockouts division really needs an overhaul.
They need more women that can wrestle.
They need some more women. Dixie, call Cheerleader Melissa. For God's sakes, bring her back.
Or bring back Awesome Kong.
I don't know.
I
want Kong to come back, but the whole thing with the guy shall not be named, and the thing between her and him and TNA signing with him. I think it kind of hurt, the bridge between Kong and Dixie. But if some way, somehow they can smooth things over with Kong and get her back, I'd be happy for it.
I mean, you're talking about a woman that could work, a woman that could wrestle against men. I would love to see that in both companies again. Women going against men to prove their worth.
TNA, you probably can get away with it. WWE,
no, you can't do that. WWE doesn't even let you do that in the games anymore.
That sucks. Let me tell you, okay?
I knew she meant.
I have a problem with that too.
WWE could kiss my blazing ass.
You heard it right here, ladies and gentlemen.
I mean, I go against men on a daily basis when I'm in the ring because I don't have another female to go against. So you're selling this product to children. Some of these girls, who play it want to be a wrestler, and some of them, are just as good as men, and they want to go against men. Fuck you, WWE. Suck my dick if I had one. I'll probably go to TNA, damn it. If I ever pick up better enough.
One thing I've spoken about this on several occasions that I really believe that they need to refurbish the X Division back to what it was, where there were no genders or anything. Like the X Division used to be an open playing field for the best of the best, and like when they had Trinity on there, Trinity was in the X Division because she was one of the group. She was just as ruthless, as low key, or any of the others in there, like AJ Styles or Kid Cash or anybody who was ever in there. Amazing Red. Those people were a ruthless group of people who were trying to get this title, and they would go to any lengths to do it, and it was damned entertaining to watch them try.
Speaking of AJ, let's talk about what we saw at, was it the end of Impact, where they revealed AJ with the beard and the...
Yeah, what the heck is going on with AJ, man?
I never thought I'd say this, but after seeing him live, after meeting him several times over again, AJ's getting old, but he is. He's getting old.
That's what we do as humans. We age.
No, but he for what he does, for what he's known for in performing, he needs to change up his entire work. He needs to change out entire work in the ring, like his entire work schedule in the ring, like his entire curriculum in the ring needs to change with his age. He needs to do that immediately before it starts looking bad.
But getting back to the topic,
what was up with that? It kind of like
I kind of like the way it was going when he left and he threw the shirt back at Dixie Carter. I'm hoping that it's a good heel run, but I just hope they don't dumb it down and make it stupid. It seems like it's going good until what I saw last Thursday.
Yeah, I was at work last Thursday.
Yeah, me too. But I caught it on Xbox Live, YouTube,
nice.
Xbox Live. But I just don't know. I hope that, it leads to something good, but, with TNA, you just don't know.
It's iffy. It's iffy.
It's iffy until...
It's like sometimes you'll have like a great match, like, oh my God, that was a great match, and then everything else sucks.
But hopefully they don't just run this thing out like the Aces and A's and just...
Run it to the ground, you're like, really, just stop it. You can't, just stop it.
Yeah. But,
speaking of... TNA, because TNA is the only company that has a female tag team belt. Are they even doing anything with that anymore?
Let me just say this again. Let me say this again. knockout tag team belts needs to go. When your tag team champions is Eric Young and ODB, and they've been having this belt for almost a year now, and they had not defended against anybody. And no, I think they had a match between Tara and what's his name for it. I mean, that doesn't count.
I mean, if they're going to go to make that title like an intergender tag team title, then
no.
Go ahead and do it, but either give it back to like 2 female tag teams,
or just kill it already. Give it to the 2 female wrestlers, or just kill the belt already.
It's not like they have enough female wrestlers to have tag teams anyways.
Yeah, now they don't.
Or just do the next best thing. Have Posey come back. Have him pull the tag belts out, have him defecate on them on the air, and then be done with it. And then go to black. And we never talk of it again. That's how you do it. No joke. As bizarre as it sounds, that's how you get rid of the tag team belts.
All right. Well, enough winners. Okay.